felonies, if you know what I mean.
Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Sunshine, happy Monday to you. I hope your week is already off to a great start. Y'all, when I tell you, I woke up like, boom. Who's that guy who does this? Dracula. I woke up like Dracula this morning, like 5 a.m. on the dot, woke up peppy, happy, energized, ready to go. I threw some stuff in the wash, made myself a little morning coffee, got ready to go to the gym. And, I'm like, oh God, why doesn't it open earlier? You have to wait until 7 to get in. So I actually managed to get 2 loads of laundry done before I could get into the gym, which is actually kind of funny. And then just, continue to just crush it throughout the morning. I'm having a great Monday, you guys, and I hope it's the same for you guys. I think I was telling you that this weekend was going to be baby filled, right? So Saturday we went to celebrate the first year birthday of my friend's son. He's so cute, you guys. I was really having a tough time. I went everywhere, like to all the little baby boutiques I could find near my place to find something. And so I went the practical route. I got him a toy, diapers, and like baby wipes. And, and so everybody had different ideas. So some other people bought him clothes, some other people bought him books. So he had like the whole gambit of things, which is really fun. But you know what he liked playing with the most? The Pampers packaging. Like the baby, they tell me that it's because there's another baby on it. So it's that packaging and the wipes packaging. And then just from my friend, the packaging that she brought the clothes in, because it was paper packaging with this like different cool sound. So it's typical babies, right? You run everywhere trying to find them the perfect gift. And what they actually want to play with, what they value the most is the packaging. Absolutely hilarious. Anyway, what about you guys? What did you all get up to on your wonderful weekend? Gala's in the house. Good morning, Gala. Nice to see you. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Cammie. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Acacia. Good morning to Disha, Deshauna, Venetia. Ooh, did you hear all those rhyming? I love that. Y'all came in at the perfect order. Good morning. Good morning, East Awesome. And I forgot about that. You see how long I've been out of Canada, y'all? Thanks, Venetia. Happy Canada to my Canadian peeps. I was thinking of going to this restaurant here in Paris called The Moose. It's in the 6th arrondissement, and it's a Canadian restaurant, and I think they're having Thanksgiving dinner. So if it's not too packed, maybe I'll pop in there. Thanks for the reminder, Venetia. Oh, I'm a bad Canadian, y'all. East Awesome. Look at you. Crushing it in the gym. Loving your new photo. It's so nice to be able to put a face to the name. Super exciting stuff. Love it. So nice to see you here, boo. I know you got a lot to say about the Real Housewives of Potomac and potentially the alleged real fraudsters of Potomac as well. Good morning, Milan, Ronnie, Shemjem, Becky, Laura, Roxy, Ashley, Lynn. So nice to see y'all. Have fun in the bushes, Ashley. Don't get pricked. Stay away from the roses, boo. Laura says, like a vampire. That's about. No, I think it's a good thing, right? Like when you wake up like that so early, so full of energy, it makes the day so long in a nice way. Guys, I actually low-key I went to the gym. I think I told you guys that, right? I low-key want to go back again this evening. I keep like refreshing to see if there's going to be a spot open for reformer Pilates, y'all. Like I am back on my grind and loving it. Absolutely loving it. Good morning, Leah, Michelle, Kelly. Bonjour, bonjour. Good morning, Angie, Lynn. Shopping for babies. Oh, I love Lynn. I thought you were buying babies. I was like, what do you mean you love shopping for babies? I didn't know there was a market like that. But she meant she was doing the same thing, gift shopping for babies, right? So cute. And so my friends are so lucky because their upstairs neighbor at their apartment, they also have a baby and it's also a boy. There's actually a difference of 2 months between the two of them. And it is actually 1 month between the two of them. And it is just absolutely amazing. They're both the cutest, sweetest little things. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh my God, we've got a a bride in our midst. Delaney, congratulations. Getting married today, but it's raining so hard. Congratulations on your marriage, on your wedding. Wow. Listen, I'm sorry about the rain. Crystal Magic, are you up? Castle Magic is here. Castle Magic, please hook Delaney up. We need good weather for the rest of the day for her wedding. Oh my God, Delaney, I don't know any spells, but I'll try to make one up on the spot. Rain be gone. Something, I don't know. But oh my God. But listen, on the bright side, it has been claimed to be good luck sometimes, or not good luck sometimes, but it's good luck. It's considered good luck. Rain on your wedding, right? So think of it that way. Think of it from the positive side. And guys, please, any witches in here, any like wizards, spellcasters, somebody, please, please, please help Delaney have some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather for her wedding. Okay. Oh my God. And I'm loving all the congratulations raining in for her. Good morning. Not Ronnie, not good morning. Sorry. I already said good morning, but congratulations on your anniversary in 2 days. How are you celebrating? Thanks, Mikey. Listen, I am having a great day and I want to share the joy. See, Delaney, I wasn't lying. It's supposed to be good luck. So think about it from that perspective, okay? Have a magical wedding indeed. Congratulations. Listen, Laura, I'm trying. I'm making things up on the spot. Rain be gone. Something. Oh, Lord. He's awesome. Thank you. This is good. Lord, I pray you give Delaney a sturdy tent and an abundance of umbrellas. Congratulations. And sun, most importantly, sun. We want some good, beautiful, sunny shots for Delaney's wedding today. Oh, I love that. I love when you come in, y'all, and you share your good news. It makes me so happy. You'd think I'd be having this, the same good news with you. It's amazing. I really love it. So you guys, why don't we get into some of our stories for today? Today is going to be very, very, very much focused on the Real Housewives of Potomac. There's just so much going on in that side of the world that we really have to talk about. I am still shaken by the news of Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo being arrested and facing a slew of felony charges for allegedly committing insurance fraud. And when I saw the details about these alleged crimes, I was in shock. Did you hear that they were allegedly sending emails back and forth to each other about trying to run up that bill to get as much money as they can out of the insurance company? That was crazy, y'all. I was like, really? Like Dr. Wendy Osefo, lawyer Eddie? They're that dumb? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I really, really hope that this is nothing but a scheme that Todd set up and that it's not real, because I would hate to see these two actually go to jail or prison. The amount of felonies that they're each facing, I think it's like 7 for Wendy, maybe 9 or 11 for Eddie. Like they could be really, 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 really bad for them, you guys. Actually, hang on. They were indicted on multiple felony counts of fraud, 7 for Wendy and 9 for her husband. So there you go. And they also each got charged with 8 misdemeanor counts of conspiracy fraud and 1 count of giving a false statement to a police officer. Oh, Lord have mercy. Apparently, these two actually have a lot of debt piled up. And so this is why they felt like they needed to do this, which is so surprising to me because as far as I'm concerned, Wendy and Eddie own their home. So listen, things happen, right? Your life and your finances are not always going to be linear. Everybody always imagines, right? You start off in the working market and it's always just going to be here from here. No, there's going to be many ups and downs and bumps along the road. That is perfectly normal. And so what I would have imagined for these two, when they found themselves in a place like that where money wasn't looking as good as it once was, I would have imagined that these two would do something along the lines of perhaps refinancing their home or adding a second or third mortgage onto it to get some money for a boost for whatever it is that they need and then repay it, right? And when you do that, right, through your home, the interest rate is a lot lower, right? And it's legal. It's not going to get you a mugshot or in jail or anything like that. So I really do not understand why they didn't go that route. And another thing I don't understand is why they're having financial struggles. Their home, from what I'm understanding, it seems to be something that's pretty, reasonable for the two of them, two highly educated professionals, one of whom is on television. Apparently they've got this business, Happy Eddie, that's booming, which I don't believe, by the way. She's got like this book that she put out. She must have gotten an advance as a like all sorts of things. Like they've got a lot of streams of income, right? The home decor or candles line, all these things. So I just do not understand, right? Like, I don't think that they've been having any kind of like career setbacks or anything like that. In fact, I think that they've been continuing to progress. However, perhaps that's the problem, right? The more you make, the more you want. And maybe they just felt like they wanted to portray a certain kind of lifestyle. Maybe they started rubbing shoulders with people who had a lot more money than they did. And so they wanted to keep up with them in that respect. Because when people say keeping up with the Joneses, and I look at the Real Housewives of Potomac cast, I'm like, no, these can't be the Joneses that they're trying to keep up with, right? Because the RHOP cast is very much giving like just regular, right? So I do not understand that. But I do think that perhaps it's the political people, right? So Wendy started doing a lot of work at the White House and stuff. She was interviewing people, you know, with very, very big political careers. Did she not also interview Kamala Harris? Like all sorts of people like that, right? So is that what it is? I don't know, but it's very, very sad. I really, really hope that this isn't true. I would be very disturbed if it were, you know, especially because not even just because of the fraud, but because they would have to be incredibly stupid. I'm really amazed that two people with like 7 degrees between the two of them are stupid enough to attempt to defraud and insure not just one insurance company, but 3 of them with the same claim from the same alleged burglary, and that they couldn't even tamper with their security system so that this thing could go off without a hitch, right? Because they claimed someone broke into their house while they were away in Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. But they had a security system on. One of them was off, the other was on. And the one that was on did not gather any evidence of something else happening. And on top of that, like there would have been debris in the house, but there was no debris, like all sorts of things like that. The police were suspicious from the jump. And to do this, to file the same claim with 3 different companies is just egregious. The alleged email where Wendy is allegedly asking him, you know, what we can do to drive it up as much as possible, insane as well. East Austin says, Eddie Osefo is registered in the DC bar. I confirmed. Why in the world would this man go for the max on insurance, commit fraud at all, and commit the crimes over email? I really like them as a family. That's the thing. I'm, you know, it's just so hard to wrap your mind around this. Like, why would people like this? You know, people, especially people this educated, how could they be so dumb, right? You know, it's very true at the end of the day that, you know, book smarts doesn't necessarily mean that you're all that smart after all sometimes, right? Like, this is crazy. 7 degrees between the two of them, and they're this damn dumb. Absolutely insane. Allegedly, right? Because they are innocent until proven guilty, right, in the court of law and whatnot, but still, nonetheless, absolutely insane. By the way, Delaney, we've got a lot of, you know, more encouraging words for you about your rainy day here. Laura says, they say it symbolizes fertility and a long, lasting, very strong relationship. Best wishes, Delaney. Gala says, rain is good luck manifesting you a beautiful rainbow. A rainbow would be absolutely stunning, wouldn't it, for Delaney's wedding? Alex says her smile is very unnerving, isn't it? Like, what is she doing? Alex says crime don't pay the bills, right? And being a felon ain't illegal. Callie says, I haven't stopped thinking about this since the news broke. Truly, truly shocking. At this point, they just need to rename the franchise to the Real Housewives of True Crimes. And speaking of, there have been so many criminals in the Housewives universe that I do not understand why Bravo decided to pull Wendy's episode of Real Housewives Wife Swap. Like, is she the first person to get arrested from the franchise? Absolutely not. And guys, we already know this, right? She's not the last person who's going to be arrested from the Real Housewives franchise. So why did they go and pull her episode? We want to listen. I'm all the more interested in what's going on the shows featuring Wendy, you know, to check out the clues, even old interviews that she did, right? I know she did one with Gabbing with Gibson Johns. I want to say I really like his TikTok page and his social media in general, but that is like going reviral, right? And it was something that was taped like at the beginning of the year or last year or something like that. So there's a lot of interest in Wendy right now. So I don't know why they pulled that episode. Roxy says, why would you risk everything? I feel like she wouldn't. So strange. And that's the thing. Like, it's so hard to wrap your mind around, but sometimes things are so strange that like the truth is stranger than fiction. You know what I mean? Like, I'm amazed. I really am. Laura says again, DUI 2 times and 1 felony. LOL. The level of their felonies are pretty bad. I do think that if they're found guilty, they're going to be going away for a good amount of time. That's just why, listen, I do hope that they put their pride aside. If they did this, right? I hope that they put their pride aside and they take a plea deal. Even Karen could have avoided jail with a plea deal, right? So I think that is what they should do if they are indeed guilty, right? Kayla says there's been a lot of scamming in the Housewives franchise over the years. Exactly. So why are we pulling her off of the show? We know these people are scammers and we don't care. We don't care. Come on, right? Good morning, Gwen. Happy Monday. East Austin says the fake robbery began around the time of Wendy's huge luxurious B-Day event during season 9. So she committed fraud, is allegedly. Don't come for me, Eddie and Wendy, allegedly did all that to pay for a birthday party. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, the thing about the jewelry that they're reporting missing and then they're still wearing on Instagram and this and that and flaunting, like these two, they were acting like such idiots. I'm truly, truly amazed by it, right? Like I can't. Laura. Delaney says, thank you all so much. My heart is so full with all the love and support. Yes. You deserve it. You're going to have a beautiful day, Delaney. Que será, será, and again, do not forget that it symbolizes a luck as well. It symbolizes a lot of beautiful things, the rain. So don't forget that. Don't forget. You guys, I can't with this story. I did want to tell y'all that the Osefos have indeed released a statement about their arrest that I wanted to read to you guys, okay? This is something that Wendy's representative told E! News over the weekend. Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Edward Osefo, are back home safely with their family and in good spirits. They are grateful for the outpouring of concern and support from friends, fans, and colleagues. The Osefos, alongside their legal team, look forward to their day in court. At this time, they respectfully ask for privacy as they focus on their family and the legal process ahead. You know what it's giving? Hang on. I forgot something. You know what it's giving, y'all? It's giving Karen Huger. It is giving Karen Huger's delusions, right? Karen Huger very much acted like she was just being, these charges came out of nowhere. She's looking forward to her day in court to defend herself. We will all see how innocent she is, all that stuff, right? And then come to find out, she was very much guilty, right? So again, please, Wendy, please, Eddie, put your pride to the side and take the plea deal if they give you one. I think they're guilty, you guys. I don't know about y'all. Let me know in the live chat if you're watching live. Let me know in the comment section if you're part of my playback posse. Do you think that Dr. Wendy Osefo, she wanted to make sure we said that, Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Eddie Osefo, are guilty or not? Can they beat these charges? Let me know. Okay. By the way, Jamie had a question. Is your friend's baby cute? Yup. He has the cutest little rolls. He has the biggest eyes. His eyelashes are so long. They made me so jealous, right? Like he's one of those babies. Absolutely beautiful. A head full of dark chestnut brown hair. Really, really beautiful. He is Franco-Turk. So his mom is French and his dad is Turkish. Roxy says, Jen Shaw too. Exactly. That's what they all do. They know they're guilty, but then they go, no, don't worry. Trust the process. Wait until I defeat this case. Are you on my side or not? Listen, I need Andy and a camera. They need to go back and continue filming for this show. They need to extend this season. I can't believe this news is coming out. Good morning, YouTube addict. Nice to see you again. I can't believe that this is coming out now that they've already wrapped up filming. I need an extended season just so that everybody can go in on this situation, so that Wendy has to have her feet held to the fire. Because if this were anyone else, she'd be going in, right? right? One thing about Wendy is she is a little sanctimonious, right? So I really need to see something come out of this, not just a reunion situation. I really want to see this happen. Though I wonder if this will push up filming for the next season, or if it'll push for Wendy to skip the reunion and then skip out on filming next season. That's another question I have for you guys, actually, right? Before I get to you guys as guilty, not guilty, I got a mic check for y'all. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Do you think that Wendy is going to still show up to the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion to film and answer to these charges? Also, do you think that she's going to film next season? Because I think she got away this season. They're already done filming, right? And for next season, I think this would be the main storyline for everybody, right? So do you think that she wants to sit through that? I personally don't think so. However, Wendy, your house of cards have fallen. This is your only real job now. The other stuff, I don't think they're making you money like that, right? She's got like her online talk show. Maybe it makes money, but it's not making RHOP money. And she's been on the show long enough that she's making money now, right? She quit her professor job. She needs this, right? So she might have to put up with all of the questioning and all of the shade. So let's see what y'all think, whether or not she's guilty, and also whether or not, and let me put in a call-in link in case y'all want to call in to let me know what you think about all of this, okay? It's the StreamYard link that I've put in the chat box. Ronnie says she's guilty. Laura says guilty. They will likely beat them because they can get the lawyers who can. G the Baker W says guilty. Penny Brown. I love that show. Nice to see you, Jay. Good morning, Autumn. Nice to see you. Is this a new photo? I really like it. I love that lipstick color on you. Is this a liquid lipstick? It looks really good. Is it matte? I'm so nosy, yo. East also says Jen Shaw and Teresa Giudice had actual victims. Don't get me started. So you're hoping that this is like a lesser sort of a charge thing. Listen, I'm with you. Listen, half the time insurance is the real scammers, right? I'm just saying. Autumn says, just finished Friday's episode. Love that. Hope you enjoyed it. Gala says, guards. I couldn't forget my sound effects, y'all. Laura says they can afford popular rich lawyers. Do you think they can? Because this whole thing, they're in trouble because they're broke. You know, like, yeah, they're making good money, but they're spending more than they're making. So I don't know if they can afford good lawyers anymore. I don't think good lawyers accept scratch cards. Or do they? I don't know. Are you guys lawyers, legal assistants, paralegals, married to lawyers? Do they accept scratch cards? IOU notes. Popular rich lawyers that celebs use to get out of the super serious charges on the regular basis. Malen says guilty. Tadisha says they went back to film, actually. Yes, this weekend cameras were picked back up. Thank you, Tadisha. I almost knocked down my light. I was so excited. Yes, I'm so happy. So that means that Wendy's participating then. Kelly says, I don't know why they pulled Wendy's episodes, but it's probably good for her since they would be filming at her house and we probably see things they claimed on their... Gagged me, Kelly. And they already did film it, though. Gagged. Because there's a lot of like these Instagram like meme pages for the Bravo housewives who've already like done an itemized list of all the things that like she claimed were missing that she's still wearing. I'm sorry, Wendy, but you're screwed, girl. You in danger, girl. Kayla says, I think she will be there. She's going to need that check. I think so too. This is her only job now, y'all. All those degrees and whatnot, like it's great. And she can still find another job. But it's going to be hard when these people, you know, the HR recruiter or whatever tries to look you up and they find that you might be a scammer, you know, like that might be scary for them. He also says the reunion check is huge. She'd be an idiot not to show up and stay under legal guidance. Exactly, right? That's a get out of jail free card. Use it, Wendy. Use it. Eddie, you too. The lawyer goofy enough to allegedly put the stuff in writing. Oh my God. Laura says if she does, it's to save face. I bet she'd feel maybe a centimeter tall in that group. Same. I'd be so embarrassed, you guys. I'd be freaking mortified. Jamie says, nope. And yes, she will try next season for the money for the trial. That's my opinion. I think so too, y'all. Jamie said, Sisoti says, are you South African? Love that. I love South African names. The Osefos are guilty, got greedy and started scamming. And it's so sad, right? So freaking sad. Oh, I know my matte lipstick's Autumn. It looks really lovely on you. What is it? $1? What is it? LA girl? What brand is that? Love that. Evie, good morning, Evie, or good afternoon. Nice to see you, boo. Hope you're having a great day. Laura also says, it went on, LOL. They'll beat the charges because they can afford celebrity lawyers. They'll be able to get a good lawyer because they were on TV, maybe pro bono. Oh, maybe that's it then, pro bono. They should be able to work out a deal then. I can agree with that because I really don't think that they have the money to really pay that off like that. But pro bono, TV exposure, they could find like a Phaedra Parks type lawyer, but one who actually wins cases though. Kelly says, I've seen some reports that they are over $1 million in debt. Yeah, in the indictment, it says that they are in debt, you guys. So we know for a fact their what is it? Their comings are less than their goings, financially speaking, right? Oh, Lord have mercy. Good luck to Wendy and Happy Eddie. Gwen says, high profile attorneys always check if the potential clients can actually pay their legal bills before they'll take on the case. And those people love to bill you, right? So they really want to make sure they can run them pockets. Ooh, listen, Autumn. Oh my God, I'm 2 for 2. I love this. I really like LA Girl. You know what I use by them? I use it's in the orange tube, their primer. It's really good. East Awesome says, y'all, the prosecutor is allowed to put out a one-sided story. Can we wait to at least hear the other side? Exactly, right? Let's wait to hear the other side. But I'm sorry, East. I think they are guilty. Sisoti says, I immediately thought of the children, her young children. Same here. How could you do this to your, allegedly, to your young children, right? Both of them too. Like, I hope that they would, at least if they were found guilty and had to serve prison or jail time, I would hope that the judge gives them the same mercy that Teresa and Joe Giudice were given, in that their prison sentences were stacked. You know who I have to contact? Dmitry Shakhnovich. Guys, I have to contact Dmitry Shakhnovich. Please remind me, because I have another question for you guys. Do you remember, speaking of the Giudices, or I should say Giudice, right? Speaking of the Giudices, do y'all remember how Joe got deported after? Wendy and Eddie, I believe, are American citizens. However, they are, what is it called? Naturalized? Like they were not, or at least Wendy wasn't, born in America. So when you commit a crime in America, and this is a question I'd like to ask to my lawyer friend. Oh, I might even have to ask Stephanie from Allegedly. Stephanie, if you commit a crime, especially a felony in the United States of America, and you are not a born citizen of America, is it something that can potentially impact your ability to stay in the US? Genuine question. And I hope that they'll still be able to stay. But I genuinely do have that question. I don't know if any of you guys have been wondering the same thing. I really hope so, for the sake of their children and for the sake of them too, and for the sake of the show. Listen, I want to see this continue to play out on the Real Housewives of Potomac, right? We've seen all these different iterations of Wendy, right? We saw academic Wendy, we saw plastic surgery Wendy, we saw Zen Wen, and now we're getting convict Wendy, right? Dr. Convict to you, address me correctly. Allegedly, mugshot Wendy, let's call her. We're getting mugshot Wendy. I want to see this newest iteration of Wendy on the show, y'all. So please, please, please do not let them get deported. Please, y'all. Please, please, please. You know, and especially for their children. Whew, that must have been scary for them. Now, y'all already know that Ashley has been making fun of Wendy. Ashley is having the time of her life, given this news, right? And so I want to share a video with you guys of how Ashley was celebrating when she heard that that Wendy particularly got arrested. And she was kind of hinting that she knew for a while that something in the buttermilk was not clean with Wendy and Eddie. Take a look, you guys.
Felonies, if you know what I mean. Let's put it out there. I'm just out there. In case there was some confusion, that's what we're doing around here. Okay? That's it. That's all we're doing. Just making melodies. Okay? All right. That was just a thought.
So there you go, you guys. Like I said, Ashley is keying, having the time of her life, laughing about the situation. And listen, I want to know what y'all think about it. A lot of people are really unhappy, but here's the thing. These girls on the Real Housewives of Potomac, they're not friends. They're co-workers, and they say very, very, very bad things to one another. So I do not I do not. I'm not surprised by this, right? This is how they keep the show going. This is how they keep the controversies going. They have to feed into these big controversies. In my opinion, Ashley was only doing her job here in being messy. And we've seen Wendy make fun of her singing or lack thereof abilities multiple times. So it makes sense, the shade and whatnot at the end of the day there. And I'm just, I'm still blown away by this entire thing, you guys. I truly, truly am. Give me one quick second, you guys, because you know what? I do also want to share with you guys some news about Ashley and what she's got going on as well. Ashley's not in the greatest place either. Do y'all remember how she tried to confront her father and whatnot and meet him for the first time, and he shut that door in her face and all that? Yeah, I got an update on all that. Okay, let's see what you guys have to say. Actually, I had to catch back up. Kelly says, yep, in this current climate, it would not surprise me if they were deported, especially since Wendy has been a political commentator. And you're so right, Kelly. That adds an entire extra layer to this entire thing, right? Gigi says Wendy's improving each year. Yeah, in the opposite direction. Laura says, Grace, you may have an issue, LOL. Here's what I found. In most cases, a U.S. citizen cannot be deported for committing a crime. But is that a born U.S. citizen or, what about naturalized citizens, right? I still do think that they'll be able to stay, but I don't know. Like, things seem to constantly be changing in the U.S. The U.S. seems to be really dead set on, getting rid of immigrants. And listen, a criminal immigrant, that might cause some very, very serious things, right? Milan says, Campfire said Ashley is lying. They didn't know. You know what, though, I will say about Ashley, and thanks for the scoop, by the way, Milan. I have his podcast episode bookmarked to listen to later. On the topic of Ashley Darby, I did want to ask you guys, do you remember in last year's reunion how Ashley was asking Wendy if Eddie was still a lawyer or something like that? Now that we know this stuff, like, do you think that there might have been something to what it was that she was asking there? Because now I'm actually extra curious about what she meant by that, right? In general, why would she randomly suddenly ask Wendy if her husband was still a lawyer? I find that to be very, very strange personally. Right? What do you guys think? Lex says, convict Wendy. Grace was like, whoa, I know I got a little bit too ahead of myself. I apologize. Wendy is not yet a convict. She has only been arrested. Okay. We can call her mugshot Wendy, but we cannot call her convict Wendy. Tadisha says, I can't stand Ashley. She loves to delight in others' downfalls. Well, that's the thing. Ashley, she's kind of got a little bit of a demonic spirit, in my opinion. She gets so happy. You always see that like little grin, coming out of her when someone is experiencing true pain. And this is not surprising coming from her at all. Kay says that Wendy's wearing that right. Wendy, girl, you were supposed to be so much smarter than this. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Embarrassing. Kelly says, don't care if you like Wendy or not. Ashley's response was gross. I agree, but it's Ashley, unfortunately. This is Ashley, this is who Ashley is. She's just, I think she and Giselle are devoid of like empathy and normal human emotions. Laura said, other than like hatred and evil. Laura says, however, certain crimes and immigration violations can force a non-citizen out of the country through deportation or render them inadmissible. A naturalized citizen can also, there you go, naturalized, which is what they are, can also be forced out in rare cases where, only if their citizenship was obtained by fraud, aka Eeyore, aka Simon, right? So it looks like they're safe. Thank God, right? I'm actually really happy for that, for their sake, for the sake of the show, and most importantly, for the sake of their children. Thank y'all so much, and thank you, Laura, for finding these things on the fly for me. I love my legal assistance. East Austin says, nope, Uncle Sam doesn't snatch your passport just because you fudged insurance, only if you lied to get it. Citizenship in the first place, commit fraud after naturalization, and you get time or fine. So there you go. Listen, if any of you guys are looking to immigrate to the U.S., or maybe you're already there, you don't yet have your nationality, just wait, okay? Just wait. Get it legally, and then after, act a fool, run amok if you must, don't do it, right? But just saying, you'll be safer. Kay says, what's going on with Ashley and Giselle's brand? What brand? Isn't it like defunct? They were just doing print-on-demand socks or t-shirts or something like that with no effort. They didn't even invest money into hiring a proper graphic designer. It was a mess. Do you think all of these other housewives burglaries are the same thing? Yes, I do, especially Miss Beverly Hills, Child of the World. I never believed that one for a second. But you know what? In my opinion, it looks like they at least potentially, allegedly, maybe hired actors to make it look, like something, right? Alex says Ashley's going to be next, or at least her ex, right? Because her ex is a weirdo and a creep. He might face some more sexual harassment, cases or something like that. I would not be surprised if it were the case, Evie says, it's a shame Wendy and Eddie stooped so low. They had a lot going for them. I'm really surprised. I have firsthand embarrassment for them. And that's what it is. I feel so freaking embarrassed for them. Like, how do you do this? You guys are academics. You're respected pillars, members of your community, right? As Americans, as Nigerians, as, American Nigerians or Nigerian Americans, I should say, Eddie, you in the legal community, Wendy, you in the professor community, and in the housewives community. How could you freaking do this? Allegedly. They're innocent until proven guilty. Guys, don't get me worked up. Look how easy it is to get me worked up. As Soti says, in this administration, anything is bound to happen. Aren't they trying to rewrite all these rules, even about birthright citizenship and whatnot? You got to be really careful. Don't commit no crimes. Do not commit any crimes, especially if you're a naturalized citizen or if you don't even have citizenship. East Awesome says, can you all rate last night's episode of RHOP? I think it's getting better. You have a strong 8.5 out of 10. Very juicy. Listen, let's get those numbers rolling in. I'll bookmark them for when we do our recap. We're just going to get through the Ashley story first. And then after that, we will do the recap of last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, in the Ashley story, you guys, I wanted to talk about it because it's kind of similar to this Kale story that we were doing recently. So Kale Lowry's father died, right? She didn't really have a relationship with him. She's met him only twice in her life. But it's still, she had a lot of mixed emotions and feelings about the passing of her father, obviously, right? There was anger, grief, sadness, forgiveness, acceptance, and then discovering that things may have not been the way that they were explained to her. All sorts of complicated things went down with that. And so Ashley also had a deadbeat dad, right? We saw her in season 4 attempt to make contact with him and to meet him, and he kind of just shut the door in her face, right? And now she's announced via her Instagram that he has passed away and that she did not go to the funeral, which, you know what, good for you, Ashley. I don't think he deserved for you to even go to his funeral. Just saying. All right. So I got the video of her explaining all of that right here, and I want to go ahead and share it with you all. So let me see how I can share it. 10/13. That is today's date. I'm just going to click share. And by the way, you guys, if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps YouTube know that you enjoy my content and to find people similar to you who might also enjoy as well. So let me do my share screen. Perhaps that's something that could work here. So if I share a window, okay, and I share a screen recording, this should work. Now, you guys, I've got it up on my screen here, but I'm not seeing it on the actual streaming platform screen. Let's see if it's popping up. Give me one quick second. It should be popping up at some point. Do you guys see Ashley? And then she's got one of her kids. I think it's Dylan behind her. Is that what you guys are seeing so far? Or you're just seeing the photo of Ashley that I had put up earlier? Laura, what thought were we sharing? Which one are you talking about? And I agree, Katrina. Good morning, Farah. Nice to see you, boo. Let me take down this picture of Ashley and see if I can get you guys that video. Are you guys able to see that video? Ah, there it is. Okay. So here's the video, guys. Take a look at as Ashley explains the story of her father passing away and her finding out about it while she was shooting Watch What Happens Live in New York.
Happy Sunday, my friends. So today is a bit of an interesting day for me. Last week while I was in New York, and I was actually coming home on the train, my mom informed me that my father had passed away. And if you saw, I believe it was season 5 of the show, I believe it was season 5, I tried to meet my dad. I've never met him, never spoken a word to him. We've had no conversation. And he's closed the door in my face. And today was his funeral. And I contemplated going, almost to have my own sense of closure. But I've been traveling so much, and I really wanted to be with my own kids this weekend. And my rationale was, why would I want to take away time from my own kids for someone who never made time for me? I found out that I have siblings and all of the things that I had no idea about my father, I learned about in his obituary. I learned he liked to garden. He taught himself how to play guitar. He was an avid fisherman. Really, so many of the things that I also love to do. And it said that in the obituary that his greatest accomplishment was being a dad to his 2 sons.
Aww.
Stung a little bit, whatever. But
Sad.
you know, it's interesting how you can mourn and have some sort of grieving, a unique form of grieving for someone who you have no relationship with, right? Just blood relations, but no emotional connection. Like, that is so interesting. I guess what I ultimately surmise from this experience of my life at 37 is really learning to close a door. A door that was never opened, but also will never be opened. I think I've always held out some sort of hope that maybe, like, apparently my dad was in hospice, maybe prior to him passing, he would have this sudden wave of conscience, to be like, oh, let me at least, like, make amends or say something to my daughter, but nothing like that, and it's just so weird. I really can't understand how any human being doesn't want to love their children or can't love a child, but it is what it is, and life will certainly go on. All right, have a great evening, babes. Okay, and also, you guys know I'm pretty superstitious.
So at this point, then she goes on to talk about how she kind of knew something strange was happening because before she had left to go to New York to shoot Watch What Happens Live, she had seen like crows. Crows were like circling her house like obsessively or something like that. And so she had taken a video of the crows circling her house, and she sent it to her mom to say, wow, this is so weird. Like, why would there be crows like kind of like, invading my house or something like that? So yeah, she says this is a very like, spiritual side of her that had this intuition that something was going on potentially with him or just, in life in general. Listen, I'm very sad for Ashley about the loss of her father, even though he was a deadbeat to her, like, she was still holding out hope that eventually he would try to make amends and that he would try to get to know her, apologize, explain himself. But he never ultimately wound up doing that. And the fact that she didn't know anything about him, everything she learned about him was something that she learned through the obituary. That's really, really particularly sad. Finding out through the obituary as well that he had 2 sons, like all that stuff is absolutely insane. I do have to ask you guys a question, you guys' opinion. So we know that her dad's white and her mom is Black or multiracial. My question for you guys is, do you think that her dad's sons first of all, do you think Ashley's mom was a mistress? Was she a girlfriend? Like, did they explain in season 4 when they went looking for him, like what her relationship was to him? Is that why? Like, did he cheat on his wife, have a baby by Sheila, and then he wanted to pretend that never happened so he could stay with his wife and all that stuff? Do you think it might be like a racial thing? Like maybe, he only wanted to have like white children, even though he was messing around with like a Black woman or something like that. Like something about this just feels so like dirty and like there's a big piece of the pie or the story that's just missing. And I find that to be very, very sad. And okay, Laura, I see what you mean. Yeah, like these stories were very, very similar, right? Evie says, I was watching the latest episode of RHOP, and in the scenes with Wendy and Stacy, I was like, is this an entry for the robbery? And then when Stacy asked to use the toilet, I was like watching the screen hard. Absolutely hilarious. You're so good because I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. I love how detailed you are. SW says, why couldn't her mom not wait until she got home? Her mom is very like awkward and like goofy. You know, she probably just did not even know that would have been the proper etiquette for this sort of a thing. Tadisha says, at least Ashley has her Uncle Lump as a positive male figure from what we see on the show. And thank goodness for that. Laura says, buzzard/crow circling is said to indicate a near-death experience. So this would have been something that affects Ashley personally, right? It's the experience of the person who is seeing them, not that a near-death experience is happening in their circle. Good morning, Amelia. So nice to see you. Happy Monday. Laura says, it indicates that death is near. Rather, my wording is terrible. Okay, so there you go. So maybe that was it then, right? That it was saying that death is happening. And yeah, it's just so sad. It really is. Really, really sad. It's more exactly, Natasha. I feel like it might be like some kind of either a mistress thing or some kind of a racial thing. You know, both cases are very sad. Kelly says, I was thinking the same thing. Love Uncle Lump. Tadisha says, he keeps it real with her. True, true, true. Farrah says, I totally agree about the mistress. He did not want his wife to find out. And imagine that baby just pops up on your front door eventually 30 years later. So sad for her, you know, not for him. Laura says, I said it wrong. Okay, no, don't worry. I got you. And thanks so much for that insight. Now, listen, you guys, shout out to my fellow Canadians, by the way. I have to have a little bit of a water break. I am parched and I'm out of water in my cup. So let me go grab a sip of water. And when I come back, we are going to be recapping last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay. And like East Awesome asked earlier, please, you guys, leave a rating on a scale from 1, meaning you hated it, to 10, amazing, no notes, perfect. Let me know what you thought about the episode, okay? And I'm still thinking about mine. So let me get myself hydrated. Let me think. And I'll be back with my own rating as well. And if you're enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I will be right back after a word from some of our sponsors. Actually, let me go ahead and pull this comment down so y'all could actually see the banner of the advertisers. Okay, so here goes, you guys. I'll be right on back. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today. And so I am back, you guys, ready to recap last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I see y'all aren't ready for your rating, so let me go ahead and think long and hard about my own rating. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm not feeling this season of the show. I think that it's very obvious that someone is missing. Someone fundamental, someone relevant is missing, right? And that person is none other than Karen Lorraine Huger. I'm not feeling the season so far. And another thing that's been really, really disturbing me is Giselle and Ashley's commitment to bullying Stacy. In Housewives, the girls can be mean to each other. They can be shady to each other. They could do all sorts of these things, and it's funny. But when it comes to Giselle and Ashley, I feel like they're actually full-blown bullying Stacy, and it's just very weird and gross to watch, like the way that they're just so obsessed with just these gotcha moments on her, talking about her breath, bringing it up in front of the whole group and stuff, and just laughing in her face. Like, it's very ugly behavior. Like, I see these people, you know, on the inside as very vile, just, you know, ugly souls. I have to be honest with you guys. I think these two, like, there's something fundamentally wrong with these women. and they disturb me, And so Ashley in particular, her obsession with Stacey's relationship status is crazy, and her calling Stacey a liar and this and that. Like, Ashley, you only just got divorced after going back and forth with your quote unquote coochie cravings for Michael for several years. You were separated for several years. So why are you wanting for Stacey to rush through her thing when you had a hard time with your own divorce and you're fresh off of it? And so you know what it's like, and you know what it's like for people to interrogate you. And then Giselle in general, like, when are you going to tell us about yourself? We're 2 episodes in. You want us to keep looking at Stacey, talking about Stacey, picking apart Stacey. But what have you really told us or shown us about yourself? Per usual, nothing, right? And it's just weird. It's so weird. I feel like, yeah, maybe call Stacey a liar. I think she's a liar, okay? But also tell us about yourselves, and don't stoop so low as to make fun of her for, in front of a group and to laugh at her over her breath or something like that. Like, it's very ugly behavior. It truly, truly is. I can't get down with that. I got to be honest with y'all. J.I. says, give it a 7 like the newbies, but they are focusing too much on Stacey's breath, right? I don't get it. It's so lame. It's so freaking lame. It's not funny. It's weird. And Ashley typically is, from what I've seen of her, because I remember when Mia was bullying Wendy and like beating her with her coin purse and stuff and throwing the water on her and just being a mean girl and trying to ice her out of the Miami trip and like the whole Peter stuff, Ashley called it out, right? And when Giselle and Robin, they were being mean girls as well, like filming Wendy, antagonizing her after she got attacked. Ashley said, what you guys are doing is wrong. What you guys are doing is bullying, and it's not cool, right? So I would have expected something from her, but unfortunately, it seems like the more you hang out with Giselle, the meaner you get. We saw that with Robin. Robin became a spineless follower of Giselle's, and now we're seeing that with Ashley as well. Ashley normally does not engage in bullying. She'll normally call it out when Giselle, the resident mean girl, goes too far, but this time she is so far up Giselle's behind that she's going along with it, and it's really sad, it's really weird, and it's really pathetic. And I cannot wait for Karen to come back onto the show so that we have something a little bit more interesting than whether or not Stacey needs to floss her teeth. SW says, I think it was a 6 or 7 because they focus too much on Stacey's breath and trying to be funny. Exactly. They want to be funny so bad, but they're not funny. They're not Karen Huger. Karen Huger is naturally witty. She's hilarious. Like, she's sharp as a tack, right? But these two, I'm sorry, but they're as sharp as a butter knife, okay? Like, they are not sharp at all, and it just falls flat every single time. Like, they're corny is what they are. They're corny and they're mean, and it's just weird. Kay says, I'm over them. It was so mean about the men. See, this seems to be the generally the way that people feel about it. I've been seeing this on Reddit as well. Like, people really do not like the way that these girls were going after Stacey. It wasn't cool, And again, Ashley, you've been through the whole wanting your ex-husband back thing. Like, it took you years to go from separated to full-blown divorce. So I don't know why you're trying to rush it. Natasha gives it a 6 as well. Did I tell y'all what I gave it? I don't even remember what I said, but I'm in the same camp, like a 5-6 sort of a thing. Like, it did not catch my attention. You know what I spent a lot of my time doing while watching? Like, I think I was like just texting people on the side because I was not really interested. I might have even been scrolling through TikTok. Speaking of scrolling, you guys, you know what I'm obsessed with right now? This new season of Love is Blind US. I've just watched episode 7 and I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. There's a guy who's so unattracted to his girl that he got blackout drunk. He kept on just trying to talk to the other guys, and then he goes to like sleep it off. And then when she goes to the room to wake him up, oh my God, that scene had me cackling, rolling on the floor. It was terrible, absolutely terrible, but it had me laughing so hard. So that was a good palate cleanser from this. And you know it's bad when I'm saying that because y'all know I've always loved Love is Blind from the beginning, but this particular season is not doing it for me, but that scene, oh, it did it. Kay says, how long until Tia's upbringing comes out and Angel Skeleton comes out? First season, they always try to come off perfect. And I see it more for Tia. Angel, I think her skeletons will probably be a husband cheating, right? athlete husband. Wouldn't be too surprising, but I see what you mean. Tia, I'm really hoping nothing comes out about her because I know she's a little bit pretentious, but I'm liking her a lot so far, I gotta say. Laura says that's disgusting. GFC or JFC, they need to act like grown adults and not teenagers looking for drama. The fact that Giselle raised 3 girls is really scary, really, really scary, because truly she is mean. You know, her daughter seems to be a lot nicer than her, but like the fact that she thinks it's normal to treat people this way and stuff, like it's scary, you know, like it could have turned out bad. Thank God, you know, they're a lot better than her because she's scary. She is, especially when she's spreading false, like, you know, grape rumors and stuff. Tadisha says, I'll rate this episode an 8. I agree. I don't like that they're bullying Stacy. Also, Kiana's doing too much. I guess she didn't want to cry about Greg this season. So she's trying anything. Oh my God, Tadisha, you were on it per usual. Let me pull up a picture of Kiana. I think you might be right. Because it is true. Why aren't we talking about Greg? Why are we all up here, you know, Kiana running behind Wendy like a lost puppy? She's very much giving single white female when it comes to Wendy Williams. By the way, that is a movie that I have to see. Let me write that down. I have to watch that movie. I also have to watch Gone Girl. It's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet. Hang on. You know, there's these, you know, classic movies that I haven't seen, right? Okay. What is it? Gone Girl. Did I put single white female? Okay, let me write that down. Single white female. Oh yeah. Thanks, guys. Listen, there's so many of these like classic movies I've never seen. I've never seen Kill Bill. I haven't seen The First Gladiator. I've never seen The Bodyguard, West Side Story. And that's about it. Batman. Apparently I have to watch that, but I haven't seen these things. So I'm really looking forward to watching these things, you guys. Yeah, Kiana is really trying so hard. She's forcing it. And I think that Tadisha's right. She's probably doing that specifically so that she can get away from having to discuss the fact that, you know, she's letting Greg run all over her or railroad her or whatever, which is so crazy to me that she's allowing that guy of all guys. I'm sorry, but if you're going to let like a guy, you know, treat you like that, at least let him be hot, at least let him be rich or something, you know, like you're letting this guy, okay, girl, really? Right? Laura says bullying to the point of all that is just insane. It is. It's so disgusting. It's so ugly. You know, I'm sorry, you guys. A lot of people always talk about Giselle, you know, looks like this, looks like that. Her soul is so ugly that I cannot agree with you guys. Like when I look at this woman, all I see is just such an ugly, ugly inside that I don't think anything about the outside. All I could just say is, wow, this is a very, very like rotten spirit, a very miserable, you know, hag of a woman. You know, she's just, her behavior is so ugly. It really is. Evie says, my rating for the episode was a 6.5. So it feels like that's the general consensus. It's mid, you know, it's mid. You really do feel the lack of Karen Huger. I don't know when Karen Huger is coming back, but we need her. This is an SOS. This is proof that Giselle cannot carry the show. This is proof that Ashley cannot carry the show. They need a Karen Huger. I do have a question with you guys, for you guys, though, and my question is, if it were Giselle or Ashley who had to go away or something like that, do you think, right, Natasha? Do you think that the show would still feel this empty and forced? Like, how would she be able to carry the show if like it were up to her? Like, I'm really curious now because now we've seen with our own eyes that it's just not possible for Giselle and Ashley to carry the show. They're not interesting. Kay says Giselle has no relationship, nothing to lose. You'd be a fool to follow. Exactly. And Ashley, you've got that, like that guy. What is he? Jack Harlow. You've got that guy. Like, do not let Giselle get you into her, what is it? The grasp or the clutches of misery with her. Farrah says, yeah, Giselle and Ashley don't have storylines and are trying to have moments and are flopping. Period. It's very, very ugly and I cannot stand it. I'm hoping that things end up turning around because we cannot have these two girls obsessively hating on Stacy for the entire season. It's just not going to work. It's not. It's insane. It's not interesting and it's weird, right? SW says, I agree. Kay is doing too much and it never makes sense. The fact that she talked about Angel with the other girls, right? And then she went and acted like it was made up. Like she fell into the trap too easily. I don't know how these girls fall into Giselle's trap every single season. They watch it play out on the show, yet they fall into it so easily. Like she wants for all of you guys, your friendships and your marriages to fall apart. Y'all even saw her do it with her British friend, right? I'm going to get into that actually. Give me a second. And I agree, Velda. It's just a nasty, 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 ugly, evil soul. You know, she's not even like Housewives entertaining, like stupid, ditzy, or just shady. Like she really wants to destroy your life. Like the stuff that she has put out there on that show, or like she should be ashamed of herself, right? Kay says a tiny bit of tea, but ooh, we're listening. But I once had a wax specialist I saw who knew Giselle and did not like her at all. She said she's rude and mean, like in real life. Does not surprise me at all. You know, like it's written all over her face. It's the way she acts. She doesn't know how to be any other way. Even when they put her on one of those like other shows, the Ultimate Girls Trip, we saw the way that she brought the energy, sucked out the energy in the room of that show and just made it manufactured storyline. She made the guy who was supposed to be their concierge, she made him cry by making up a lie that somebody stole her little alcohol bottle, right? Like that's how desperate she is. Like she's just, I cannot stand her. I don't know why Bravo and Andy love her so much. I cannot stand her. I think the show would flourish without her. I think, you know, even if you keep, you know, messy Ashley and you get rid of Giselle and you add another like, you know, controversial person, it would be great because this person is just mean and doesn't share anything about herself. So what's the point? If she at least were vulnerable, that would be great, but she's not. Can I ask you guys, by the way, since we're talking about Tia and whether or not she's, you know, she's as royal or as posh as she's claiming, do you guys like buy it? Like, what do you guys think? Because I got to be honest with you guys, I'm falling for it hook, line, and sinker. I really do believe that she's that posh. And I really do believe that like she grew up with like nannies and like cooks and drivers and stuff like that. And I want to know what y'all think about her so far. For me, I actually do think that she's the only one so far to give off rich vibes on Housewives of Potomac. I know that Angel is rich as well, but she doesn't give off the same vibes that Tia gives off, right? I think that Angel gives off more like laid back, down to earth, rich girl vibes, whereas Tia has this like Lisa Vanderpump style of rich vibes, which I'm actually really excited to finally have on that show. RHOP was giving broke from the very beginning, right? So I'm really, really happy to finally have that. Now, remember how I told you guys that Giselle was already giving weird vibes to Tia's husband? So she's the one who brought Tia onto the show, introduced her in episode 1. Now in episode 2, you see her kind of like making weird comments about Tia's husband. So for example, she says something like, because Tia says that the husband, while she hangs out with Giselle, the husband went off with the girls to take them shopping, to take them out to do things. And then Giselle's like, oh, so he's the nanny. No, he's the dad doing, you know, things that a dad should be doing with his offspring, taking them out to do things, right? Tia says like, that's not really her thing. So she lets him do that. Like, that's how it works in like relationships and stuff. Like, you know, there are things that somebody prefers doing more than the other. Maybe someone prefers cooking. Someone prefers washing the dishes. Someone prefers doing laundry, putting them in the washer. Someone prefers folding them, putting them in the dryer, whatever. Like, it doesn't make one of them a cook or a cleaner or a nanny or a whatever. Like, that's Giselle, like, kind of, you know, adding her like nasty, weird, snarky stink on people's relationship per usual, right? And then afterwards, Tia's talking about the husband and his work and how it has to do with finance and stuff. And she's like, oh, so he's a nerd. I'm like, oh, Giselle, there you go. There you go, Giselle. And it took you what? Just one episode to get started on somebody's husband? Okay. SW says, no, Karen needs Giselle to pass the ball to. And I do worry that that is the case, right? Laura says just off the vibes. She doesn't watch the show, but Giselle's appearance just makes her seem unlikable. Yeah, she doesn't really smile. She's just very mean. She just scowls at people. Tanisha says, I'm not sold on the new girls yet. I'm liking Tia so far. Listen, I actually am kind of sold on the new girls. I'm surprised y'all aren't really feeling the new girls yet. I will say, though, that we haven't given them enough time to shine. So far, we've been focused too much on Stacey. You know, was her relationship with TJ real or not? Is she back together with her husband? Does her breath stink, right? It's the Stacey show right now. And Ashley and Giselle are her #1 fans. And then on top of that, we did get this weird forced beef between Kiarna and Wendy as well that just does not make any sense. So I do think that we need to give the new girls some more room. But I like that they're actually rich. RHOP typically doesn't seem to attract money. So I'm happy that we at least have that, right? Kay says nearly none of them even live in Potomac, right? I think only like Karen and Giselle live in Potomac, funny enough, right? And exactly, she's bitter. She's so angry. She's so mad that life did not turn out the way that she felt like it should have turned out for her. And that's it, Laura. All that scowling, just being mean to people, it's hardened her, and you can really see it in her that she just does not have a light, happy, airy energy. Denisha says, I hope Stacey has first chair at the reunion. Me too. She deserves it after the way these girls have kept her name in their mouths all season. Allie says, I just hope they did a real background check. I hate liking new people only for them to be criminals. Listen, I hope they're not criminals either. Please, please, please. Bravo has had enough of them. What a funny comment. I love it. By the way, East Austin, where you at? You came in. You gave us that high rating of 8.5. You didn't tell us why your rating was so high, and you vanished. Everybody else's rating came with explanations, but yours, come on now. Let's see what else I missed. We got to meet Ashley's sister, Jessica. She's the one that the mom went and made with that broke man who had her living in a tent under a bridge. So Ashley and Michael had to take care of Ashley's mom and her other children, including her daughter, Jessica. And so, before the thing even said that was her sister, I was like, that looks exactly like Sheila. That's a mini Sheila. She looks exactly like the mother. So that was kind of fun to finally meet her sister and everything. And so she goes to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and Josh Harlow, or whatever that guy's name is or whatever, he is her date. And they talk about how they went on a break because she went and shot Bravo's Love Hotel, and he didn't love that. And so it looks like they're kind of loved up anyway, though. I think they're even still together, actually. So that might be a real genuine connection there. Her sister thinks that he's a little bit too kind of like youngish, vibe-ish, doesn't seem like grown. And Ashley agrees that she typically likes her men well-seasoned. She likes them, with a gout or two. And voila. And listen, Ashley and Giselle are so desperate for a storyline, actually, talking about other people, not even themselves, that they teamed up to go and meet with Karen Huger's best friend, Cookie. They met up with her at a diner or something. And Cookie was all too ready and happy and excited to talk to these girls. I'm like, really? Are you sure you're Karen Huger's bestie? Because well, you know what? Karen probably sent her. Said, listen, say just enough, but not too much. So whatever. She seemed really messy. She made some jokes about Stacey and her breath and stuff. Again, don't love it. Stacey's a very beautiful woman. And I think the fact that she's beautiful, rich, has a husband who loves her, is intimidating or bothersome to Ashley and Giselle. I don't know, but it's just weird, whatever they have against this lady. They have even Karen's bestie making comments about her breath, talk about, because they laid the foundation that Stacey allegedly asked somebody to hook her up with Chris Samuels. Ashley says that a friend of hers told her that after her divorce party. And then Karen's bestie, Cookie, goes, oh, Chris Samuels, because he was texting her at the moment. She was like, oh no, Chris Samuels doesn't need that stinky smell in his house. So I was like, guys, this is really ugly what you're doing here. This is not funny housewife stuff. This is ugly behavior. And it's alarming. It's weird, right? And again, here they are talking about other people, piggybacking off other people, and we still don't know anything about them. Please, guys, quickly, what has Giselle revealed to us this season, other than the fact that she's an empty nester because the kids are away to university? Have we learned anything about her? Has her personal story developed at all? What about Ashley? What has she really told us, except, except through a divorce party? Quite literally nothing. All they can do is obsess over Stacey and Karen Huger, and it's weird. Y'all are veterans. You've been here since season 1. You're the OGs, and you can't pull this off? This is so weird. This is so sad. Step it up, you guys. This is so embarrassing. Truly, truly. Get a life. Get a freaking life. Laura says, honestly, the background check doesn't seem like it would be a big thing. They need people that make the show better / more watchable. She also says facepalm is all. And Faye Davis says, hey, made it to Alive here, starting late from the beginning. Hey, Faye, nice to see you. Faye, can I ask you a question? Do housewives lovers call you the morally correct Faye Dennis? Because every time I see the name Faye, which is a beautiful name, by the way, all I want to think is the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. Laura says facepalm is all there really is for the whole show. It's so messy. It's so messy, Laura, but in the best way possible. If you haven't yet, I do recommend starting from season 1. The early seasons were really good, especially 2 through 4 or 5, I want to say. Tadisha says, I don't like Cookie. Something is off. She's desperate. Weren't they making jokes? Wasn't Cookie the one specifically? Because Giselle said she was concerned that somebody would hurt Karen in jail to make a name for herself. And what does Cookie, Karen's best friend, what does she say? Oh, like like somebody could take her virginity in there, like kikiing, trying to fit in with them. I'm like, oh, not you joking about your friend getting raped in prison. Okay. That's strange. Like, really? Like, that's how bad you want to, be on camera? That's how bad you want to be friend with, miserable and, misery and company? That's what I'm going to call these two. You know how Giselle and Robin were the green-eyed bandits? I'm calling Giselle and Ashley misery and company. Oh, God. Let me give myself a pat on the back for that. Misery and company. You want to be down with misery and company so bad that you're going to joke about your friend being inappropriately touched in prison? Okay, that's strange. Couldn't be me, but okay. Is that okay, girl? That's weird, right? Ronnie says it puts them off. Laura says beautiful with a husband who doesn't step out constantly. They're jealous, period. Tadisha says, I was shocked that Giselle has a sister. I think we learned that last. Exactly. We learned that like out of nowhere, and we still have not even met her yet. That's how little Giselle gives us. And it's time for people to stop accepting it. Like, Giselle, come talk to us about yourself. Let's talk about, maybe you have bad breath. Maybe you do, because the way every man runs away from you like crazy, you're supposed to be the word on the street, the most beautiful woman around. Yeah, every man runs away like you are the bubonic plague. Maybe you have stinky breath, girl. Let's talk about it. The way you're going in on everybody else. Let's talk about you, boo. Laura says, I think someone should contact the network about how unlikable these people. And you know what's crazy? A lot of people do. A lot of people are just sick of it. A lot of people are letting Bravo know that what Giselle and Ashley are doing is straight up bullying, and it's not entertaining, it's not funny, and it's gross. Ali says that's a good one. Thank you. Farah says, yes, Misery and Company. We got it, y'all. That's the name for these two, Misery and Company. Thanks, Laura. Let me give myself one on your behalf, boo. Thank you. Ali says she definitely has halitosis, right? And if that's the case, help her. She's supposed to be your friend. Like, tell her in a nice way. You don't make fun of people. Isn't that an illness? You don't make fun of people. This reminds me, like, even like Candace. I don't like Candace because Candace says really ugly things. Like, when she's coming for Mia, she's like, your big feet cracking the floor. When she's coming for Giselle, she's like, oh, you're like, stovepipe legs or something, like just like all this stuff. Like, I don't like when people take things to that level. I think it's very ugly and mean. SW says, oh, so true. They all run. Good one. Thank you. And yes, Ali, you're right. They treated Lisa Vanderpump like this, right? The bad breath. And I think they were saying it happened when she got those dentures put in. What are they, like veneers? Listen, veneers is just a fancy word for dentures as far as I'm concerned. They were too big for her mouth. But, when they came in with the bad breath and stuff, it was ugly. And thanks for reminding me, Ali. You have such a great memory. I forgot about that. But I remember going, that's ugly. Like, is that really how low we're going for, like, for something like, ew, like it's ugly. It's weird. Laura says, meaning I may try watching. Yes, I'm so happy. Please. I watch it on Hayu, but I think you could also watch it on Peacock. Bravo sometimes. I think for the season, they dropped the first episode, the full, for free as well. Okay, so give it a look and let us know what you thought. By the way, you guys, oh my God, we're kind of over, but that does it for today's episode of the Morning Report. Per usual, I had a great time chatting with y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to being back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk more about the day's hottest stories. If you had a great time watching with me, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? Take good care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST. Bye now.